The final is a novel pairing between near neighbours Bruree and Kilmallock. Kilmallock are looking today for their 8th county senior hurling championship title, having last won it in 1992, a year they reached the All-Ireland final on St Patrick's Day in 1993. But for Bruree, they're looking for their first title in 101 years. All in all, it has the ingredients of a good game between these near neighbours. And this afternoon's game is being brought to you in association with Kilmallock Oil Company and Rokes Cross Service Station. We're looking forward to a very good game.
Don't know if they come back. Can you win?
Is the other one working? What one am I on now? Which? And does echo come out of it, no? Yeah, it doesn't make any difference. There's no echo. Can you put it on so and don't take any... The clash of near neighbours Bruree and Kilmallock at the Gaelic grounds in Limerick. With me in the commentary position, Sean Murphy. Kilmallock looking for their 8th county senior hurling championship title. Bruree haven't won since the year of 1893. 101 years ago as Tommy Nissy pokes the ball out, landing down towards centre field, batted down by Stephen McDonough, and it goes forward now towards Bruree's full forward in Mike Milan, trying to keep play in, does so successfully, cut out by Shane O'Grady, across the field, picked up by Donald Barry. Good play by Donald Barry, swings it up towards the 65-yard line for Paul Sexton, a late replacement on the team for Pat Potter, picks up play, gives it to Stephen McDonough. Stephen McDonough is brought to the ground by the two players in question, Mark Cronin and Michael Hoolan, and it's going to be free for Bruree at the centre of the field, Sean.
Yes, and we've had a very exciting opening 3 minutes here. Bruree certainly not overawed by their more experienced opponents, and it looks like as if we're going to have a great county final watched by a mighty crowd here. I'd say between 7,000 and 8,000 people, Mal.
One of the biggest crowds. Here comes Seamus O'Connell. He's the only man to score in the game. Bruree lead by a solitary point. This a long way out. Bruree are playing with the breeze in the first half. A mighty free landed in by Seamus O'Connell. Umpires are watching it, and Tom Buston, the man from Adair, says that it's gone to to the right and wide. The referee for today's game is Terence Murray, who took charge of the 1985 final in which Kilmallock were winners over South Liberties. That was 1985. This is his second county final. He has taken charge also of 2 All-Ireland senior finals in 1987 and again in 1993 when Galway were the winners. We're waiting for the puck out from Tom Hennessy. The puck out is coming. It's landing down towards centre field. Overhead strike by Pat Barrett, very close to the sideline. It's gone out over the sideline. A line ball to come from Bruree in their form of the wing back Seamus Murphy, a player that has good experience at minor and under 21 level with the County Limerick team. Bruree wind assisted. Here comes the wing back Seamus Murphy, midway between the 45 and the 65. A good sideline cut as well down towards the opposite 45, where battling for it are Mike Milan and Dave Clark straight across the field. Here comes Edward Potter. With him is Donald Barry. Now out comes the challenger Gerald Reardon. And now comes Edward Potter. Edward Potter plays in towards the centre. Easy for centre half-back Dave Clark. A late challenge came in, but the ball was still dropped down. And it comes towards Donald McCarthy. Low ball piled in towards Mike Milan. And here they go to the man from Bruree, Mike Sexton, playing a lovely ball inside towards Seamus O'Connell, and has gone out for a 65. And that was a good piece of movement by the Bruree attack.
Great play by Mike Milan, but I was surprised that Seamus O'Connell, a man who has been so accurate, he got it unmarked, but his shot was parried by Tom Hennessy and deflected for a 65. But unfortunately, poor finish there by the Bruree attack. As you say, attempting to win a title that they haven't won. They won it as a South Limerick Hurling Club in AD 93, and from my research it looks as if that particular team, there was only one Bruree man on it, so they're aiming to make their own bit of history this afternoon.
Here comes Seamus O'Connell, the ball being placed for him by the linesman at the far sideline in Tom Bennett, once a chairman of the referees organisation in Limerick. Here comes Seamus O'Connell, a big crowd watching the bank, the wind blowing from right to left. That's from the town goal down towards the Clare goal. Here comes Seamus O'Connell with the free, scooping it, sending it in. Umpire stand back well, and they point to the air. It's gone over the bar, and Bruree have got their second point of the game, and both scores have come through. The very influential Seamus O'Connell, he scored 2 points, and both have come from frees, one from a 65 and one from the 21. Here comes Tom Hennessy, the goalkeeper, reserve goalkeeper with the Limerick team, from the goal to our left, facing the breeze. One of his sons were one of the mascots for this Kilmallock team. Indeed, there were 5 mascots for the Kilmallock team. The ball dropping down towards centre field. Up go Paul Sexton. There with him is Mike Hoolan. Back covering Dave Clark. Will Dave Clark win it? He scoops it out, looking for support. It may come in Gerald Reardon. Gerald Reardon brings play down towards the 45. Pat Barrett plays it outside, where it's picked up by Liam Needham, who scored a goal last Sunday. And here comes the wing back, James Connery, one of the newcomers to the Kilmallock team, plays it out towards Morris Nelligan, just back from the United States of America. Played up to the left wing here. And Mark Cronin celebrating his 20th birthday just yesterday. He's 20 and a D. Here comes Stephen McDonough, hoisting it high, dropping it down towards the 21, where up goes Mike Milan. Milan turns and Bruree have got a flying start of the game. It's their 3rd point on the trot.
Great play there by Bruree, and magnificent play by Stephen McDonough and also by Mike Milan. Excellent finishing, and Bruree are now in a good position, and they are playing with a strong wind, so perhaps their advantage is not as much as we would expect it to be.
In the 8th minute of this county senior hurling championship final, the score, Bruree 3 points, Kilmallock no score. Kilmallock launching another goal puck out from Tom Hennessy down towards centre field. Donald McCarthy there with him, the 26-year-old captain of the Bruree team, Peter Flynn. Mike Hoolan puts in his challenge, and the word comes in now as well from Pat Barrett, whose father Mike is the selector of this Kilmallock team. Here comes Dave Clark, played low across the wing, and trying to keep it in here is Pádraig Tobin. Pádraig Tobin, with him here is Stephen O'Halloran. The ball has gone out, and the linesman right beneath us here, Tom Burke from the Napier Club, says that it's going to be a line ball, and it's coming right to left with Seamus Murphy to take this sideline cut here at the Gaelic grounds in Limerick. And Limerick 95 in association with Bulgan and Castle are live here at the Gaelic grounds, and that was a poor line ball taken by Seamus Murphy. It's returned advantage to Kilmallock, and I think in the form of Michael Hoolan, the inter-county player, one of 4 players in this Kilmallock team with inter-county experience at senior level. Mike Hoolan is 1, Dave Clark is 2. And add to the pack as well, reserves in Donald Barry and Tom Hennessy, the reserve goalkeeper with Limerick. So Mike Hoolan to send this in around the goal. In towards Paul Dowling, who's replaced Brendan Hanley from the drawn game and the replay game. Here comes Mike Hoolan, that's a lovely sideline cut in towards the square, but Paddy Kelly was too small, as was Aidan Foley to keep it in. It's gone to the left and wide, and that's Kilmallock's first wide in this county senior hurling final. And again, that's over 9 minutes old.
And bad play by the Bruree defence there that kept that, but Steve McDonough puts them into the attack.
And Steve McDonough's loose ball may come towards Edward Potter. A bit of ball juggling, returns advantage back to Kilmallock, and their fullback Sean Burchell brings it out now. Patrick Cullinan swinging in towards the goal. Good play here by Shane O'Grady, mopping it down, but picking it up here for Bruree. We have Andrew O'Shea firing in a shot, and that's a smashing score. That was really a delightful piece of play. Andrew O'Shea, the scorer, the left half forward, and one day when they drew it a hand, he was the only player outside of Seamus O'Connell to score for the men of Bruree, but he's got his opening score. So now 4 points for Bruree. Kilmallock no score. Bruree off to a great start. 10 minutes old. Tom Hennessy with another goal puck out. Terence Murray, the referee, standing at the centre of the field. Here comes that goal puck out we speak about with the red shirt of Kavanagh's. Tom Hennessy puts all his work behind it, all of his 15 stone, dropping it down, and look at that for a catch from the skies by Donald McCarthy. Shot blocked down. Paul Sexton picks it up, and it comes off Mark Cronin, and it's going to be a line ball for Kilmallock, I think, and Mike Hoolan is the man that will take this line ball, the far sideline. Midway between the 65s, that means he's at the centre of the field. Here comes Michael Hoolan to take this. A sizable attendance over in the bank as well. There could well be 9,000 people here at the Gaelic grounds. Paul Sexton puts in his work, but it's not sufficient as Kilmallock go forward with Mark Cronin. Mark Cronin swinging across down towards the 20, but it's Bruree picking up play. The wing back is Seamus Murphy. Good play down into open space, where out comes the advancing Edward Potter. Edward Potter is there. Clear out Gerald Reardon, firing it in. Umpire knows that it's going to go to the left and wide, so the score remains Bruree 4 points. Kilmallock yet to open their account. We're playing 11 minutes of the final.
Yeah, and if one was to judge by the opening 11 minutes here, Bruree are definitely combining better as a team. They're first to the ball, and their first time striking definitely has Kilmallock stretched to the limit at the moment.
Stretched to the limit. So too is Tom Hennessy. He's been very busy in that goal. He's a lot of puck outs to count for. This one dropping down towards the 65. That's the defensive 65. A hurley is broken as Seamus Murphy mops it up and clears it up the field for Bruree. Down towards the 21. Up towards Mike Sexton. Mike Sexton's ball is breaking loose. A little touch to there by Gerald Reardon. Brings it out towards Dave Clark. And Dave Clark battling away, but it's Bruree's Pat Cullinan striking it in. This could be a wonderful score. Bruree are definitely on a song. Pat Cullinan, the centre half forward, almost matching the great strike by Andrew O'Shea just 90 seconds ago.
As I told you, the first time play has definitely Kilmallock at 6s and 7s, and if Bruree can maintain this momentum, they're certainly going to be a tough nut to crack.
But don't forget, Bruree are playing with the aid of a strong breeze, blowing down towards the clear goal at the Gaelic grounds in Limerick. Donald McCarthy once more, the navigator in the flight of that ball, down towards the 45, missing here. It comes to Pat Cullinan. Cullinan swings it in towards the goal, in towards Seamus O'Connell. Is one of the players that's there. This is Seamus O'Connell. Swung rather sharply there, has gone to the right and wide, and maybe Bruree have missed a couple of opportunities. They need to score every chance they've been afforded in this first half, because the breeze is quite considerable. It has picked up from the first game that was won by a very good Bruff team. They'll meet Partickswell in the final. Partickswell were winners over in Bruff this afternoon. Here comes Tom Hennessy, this time coming from the right hand upright where he stands. That's the left hand upright as we look at it. Out to the small parallelogram, launching himself once more down towards centre field. Donald McCarthy is there marking Mike Houlihan. Down towards the 45, Kilmallock's defensive 45. Ed Potter sweeping it outside where the support will come in the form of Andrew O'Shea. Driving a menacing ball in towards Mike Sexton. Breaking loose, it could come. A great save by Tom Hennessy from Seamus O'Connell. Back to O'Connell again, a ground stroke. And this time it's gone to the left and wide, and rather dramatically so. But a good save initially by Tom Hennessy from the very sharp Seamus O'Connell.
An excellent save by Tom Hennessy. He was on the left hand side of the goal here. His reflexes had to move fast, but an excellent save. And Seamus O'Connell and all the Bruree forwards are definitely moving very fast and very accurate.
Very accurate. Here comes Tom Hennessy, the goal to our left again. We're telling you it's the goal to our left because he's the busiest man in the field. His counterpart in John O'Brien, son of the great Jim O'Brien, who won an All-Ireland medal with Limerick in '73, has had only one puck out in the game that's now 13 and a half minutes old. Plays down towards centre field, and O'Shea. Donald Barry winning this one towards Morris Nelligan, trying to scoop it in. Caught out there by Peter Finn, the team captain with Bruree. Andrew O'Shea kicks it outside. Maybe he'll have a chance to pick it. Good tackling here by Mike Houlihan. Mike Houlihan is winging it back, and with him there is Pádraig Tobin. This is Pádraig Tobin, the Garda base in Templemore. Breaking loose, and Bruree, my word, of the play back again. Andrew O'Shea down towards the 65. Donald Barry has left no place as the ball comes towards Seamus O'Connell, and Terence Murray, the official from Partickswell, says that's the spot that the free will be taken from, just outside the 45, and Seamus O'Connell, who scored 2 points in the game to date, will take this. Poised over the sliotar. a chance to put 2 goals between the sides. 5 points for Bruree, no score for Kilmallock. Bruree with the breeze, silence around Park Nagoyle. This one is dipping sufficiently over the bar, and Seamus O'Connell has got his third point of the match, and we're moving into the second quarter of a titanic game.
Definitely, and Bruree certainly seem to be on a roll. They're definitely matching their opponents in every phase of the game, and they have 6 points to the good. It certainly looks like Bruree are going to put it up to the more experienced opponents.
101 years, their great leader was Eamon de Valera. Will Stephen McDonough be their great leader this afternoon? The inter-county player, and Peter Finn, who's the team captain, will he lead by example? Kilmallock come into attack, down towards the 45. Paul Dowling, shot is half blocked down, fully blocked down by John Potter, and he's got a little knock on the head, and the sliotar has gone out, and in to see him straight away is the chairman and manager, Hugh Hogan of the Bruree club. So fullback is down injured. Fullback is down injured in John Potter, one of 4 Potter brothers involved with this Bruree team. We see that Edward Potter is a right half forward. He's just 23 years of age. John is 39 years of age. Pat Potter was unable to play today. He failed a late fitness test at around 3 o'clock. His place on the Bruree team was taken by Paul Sexton. And among the substitutes we have number 23, Mike Potter, a great family that have played and served Limerick well down to the years. He just touches his head. He says, I'm fit enough to continue in this novel pairing between 2 sides that are separated by only a stretch of 6 miles, and it's a very straight road between Bruree and Kilmallock. Seamus Murphy once more, a good sideline cut, dipping down towards the 45. Up goes Dave Clark, and Dave Clark says, Pat Cullinan, you're not getting this ball. So Mike Milan alongside him as well. Here comes Dave Clark to take this about 47 or 8 yards out from his own goal. This side of the field, which is the county side, which is the Mick Mackey side of the field, brawl breaking in towards Pat Barrett, picked up by Seamus Murphy, cleared away by Seamus Murphy. Murphy is doing well. Kilmallock are down by 6 points. That means Bruree are leading by 6 points, but Kilmallock now beginning to come back into the game. Dave Clark, a good stick work outside. James Connery just misses it, and Dave Clark says, perhaps James, you should have got to that. So a line ball, Stephen McDonough tosses it over to Seamus Murphy. His nickname is Popeye outside in Bruree. What do they call him tonight if Bruree were to win the game? 16, almost 17 minutes gone in this county senior hurling championship final. Seamus Murphy, sideline cut, wind assisted to play it in towards the 20, perhaps towards the 14. How far will it go? It won't go that far. It'll barely make the 45, but it comes to Pat Cullinan, centre half forward, blocked down by Donald McCarthy, moving forward from his wing back position. Over the head, well, it was meant to go over the head of Morris Nelligan to McDonough. It didn't, as Nelligan clears it upfield swiftly. Paul Dowling adds to it, and out comes Paddy Kelly. There along with him is Patrick Tobin. And the switches wholesale on this Kilmallock team because they are in difficulty. Liam Neenan has switched with Patrick Tobin, and this is Liam Neenan on the 45. Going forward, but Terence Murray says you've won a free and you'll have to take it from the 45. So Kilmallock needs a score, and can Paddy Kelly provide it? Yes, it's the 39-year-old veteran campaigner Paddy Kelly, who won an All-Star in centenary year of 1984, to take this. The score, Bruree 6 points, Kilmallock no score.
I see that Mike Sexton now, or Mike Milan of Bruree, is now out centre forward on Dave Clark, and Mike Sexton is gone full forward. But I think Bruree are getting a bit complacent and a bit over elaboration.
Paddy Kelly striking it in, and it's gone over in the 18th minute of the county final. Paddy Kelly, roared on by the big crowd, has got Kilmallock's opening score of the final. 6 points for Bruree, Kilmallock 1 point, and a goal puck out to come. Only the second for John O'Brien, the goalkeeper, who strikes with a Kitogue strike down towards the 65. McDonough goes up, Morris Nelligan bats down, picked up by Seamus Murphy. Advantage by referee Terence Murray, very close on near sideline. With him there is Patrick Tobin. Seamus Murphy and Patrick Tobin battle for together. Tobin plays it outside. Nice ball by Morris Nelligan, gives it back towards James Connery, who does well. But look at this for great stick work. Seamus Murphy, it could be anybody's ball. And Morris Nelligan strikes it straight across the field. I think there's a lot of mud on that sliotar as well, because it seemed to take a little divot just beneath us. We follow play, the far sideline. Mark Cronin bringing it in towards full forward territory. Paul Downing is 25 yards out for the goal. His shot blocked down by John Potter. Back to Dowling. Dowling looking for support. John Potter puts in all his work. Down injured as Dowling strikes it in. Umpires watch. Umpires are matched in their decision. It's a good score by Paul Dowling. 2 points for Kilmallock. They're launching a little bit of a comeback.
Certainly on a comeback, but it all happened by Bruree being a little complacent. They were in an attack, and the hand pass that was intercepted, from which they got a free, but a great point there by Paul Dowling, a man that I thought should have been on the Kilmallock team throughout the year, but today he's getting his real chance after coming on as a sub on the last occasion.
He kept the fence. There's going to be a lot of changes on the team. Donald McCarthy is seemingly at midfield with Michael Houlihan. Stephen McDonough and Maurice Nelligan are at midfield. John Potter is up the full-back. Will he continue? Two of the Bruree officials are alongside him. There's no sign of a substitute coming from the Bruree defence. It's very, very difficult to say, will he continue play? He seems to have a little bit of a nosebleed. Just outside the 45, coming now towards the 65, Terence Murray says that play will continue, and John Potter will continue, but I'm not sure will he play at full-back. I don't think he'll play at full-back.
Peter Finn seems to have gone in at full-back at the moment.
He's gone in as a full-back at the moment. We'll follow play anyway for the immediate future and watch the play. Mike Houlihan, maybe the Bruree selectors are thinking about a switch and maybe a replacement for John Potter, who's definitely injured in the game. Here comes Seamus Murphy of Bruree, a fighting wing-back if there was ever a fighting wing-back. Bruree put into attack here by Mike Milan. Good ball meant for Mike Sexton. Mike Sexton lets it go through. Dave Clark is a man back covering on the end line. Two Bruree men are there. This is one of them, Seamus O'Connell. Seamus O'Connell scoops it outside, picked up by Mike Houlihan. Mike Houlihan doesn't need to catch the stitter, just lifts and strikes it down towards midfield, and Pat Barrett along with Pat Cullinan. John Sexton picking this ball up. This is Paul Sexton rather. Down towards Edward Potter. His brother is injured. The ball scooped away now by Seamus Murphy, keeping it in. Seamus Murphy scoops this up and hits it about 50 yards, dropping inside the 45-yard line, bounces off the head of Stephen McDonough, but not off the head of Donald Barry. Instead it bounces on to come on, and Donald Barry has taken a nasty knock there, and the referee didn't see it. The ball in, and the ball gone out of Mike Sexton. Appeals by Stephen McDonough, appeals by the full forward line of Bruree. But yes, indeed lads, it was a wide ball, because Mike Sexton, you did get your command to that stitter that was aiming towards a small fellow.
And we now see John Potter has now positioned himself at left full forward. In fact, he's now playing left full forward on the Bruree team, and Peter Finn is gone full back and Pat Cullinan centre back.
Yes, indeed. 6 minutes to go to half-time. The score, Bruree 6 points, Kilmallock 2 points. Bruree with the breeze. They haven't scored for quite a length of time. Looking for their first since 1893. Mike Houlihan bats it down into the path of Dave Clark. This is Dave Clark and his defensive 65. Gets it down towards the opposite 45. Peter Finn is there with Seamus Murphy. Two commands clash, and it's picked up by Project Tobin of Kilmallock with the green helmet. Shrugging off the challenge there put in by Pat Cullinan. Back towards Peter Finn. A little bit of a mix-up here maybe. Peter Finn brings it out, picks it up in the 20, goes away, runs into Paul Dowling, but Paul Dowling won't stop him. Seamus Murphy goes. Mike Houlihan stops him in his tracks, stops the wing back and goes forward, does the midfielder. This is the Kilmallock midfielder, but Mike, you tread up the ball and caught it again, and the rules of hurling don't allow for that. Back in the 20, a free to come, and Peter Finn, I think, will be the man to take it from the 20. Terence Murray very alert in the game. Here comes Peter Finn, the team captain, now at full back, starting the game at centre half back, down towards the 45. Maybe John Potter will last to half time. Half time now, just 5 minutes away at the Gaelic grounds in Limerick. No injury time I would suspect in this game. Ball, good ball, and a great race on here towards the end line. Mike Sexton won't get it unless he was one of the great runners of all time, but I think the slitter's gone out. It's going to be one more puck out for Tom Hennessy in this opening half of the county final. Maurice Nelligan has broken his hurley, and he's looking for a replacement. I think it's coming now. Nick Hayes has just run in a command, so Maurice Nelligan has got a replacement hurley. Play can continue as Neil Ronan, the team trainer from Ballyheen, Cork, walking up here with a red Cavanagh tracksuit, and Hugh Hogan, the manager of the Bruree team, cross paths and say it's going to be a tough final. It is a tough final. Mike Milan playing it in now towards Edward Potter. Look at Edward Potter go. He sees inside in the fullback. John Potter not injured now. Look at John Potter go forward, and John Potter's lost possession. Donald Barry scoops away, and in the end it's fullback and Sean Burchell that gets the ball out towards the far sideline. Very close to the sideline. Gone out, says Tom Bennis. A line ball to come, and Donald McCarthy says maybe I'll take it. Maybe Paul Sexton will take it. I can tell you that Paul Sexton will take it, and Donald McCarthy will go in. And alongside we have Mark Cronin, 20 years of age yesterday. And indeed now Edward Potter, maybe three men contemplated in taking the line ball, but the man in the end, 23-year-old Edward Potter, to take this sideline cut, not too far outside the 45, the far sideline, and a huge crowd up in the bank, and a lovely day for hurling. Donald Barry intercepts this ahead of Andrew O'Shea. Difficulty in picking it up. Has it on the second attempt. Out towards the 20 from the 40. Mike Cullen falls to the ground and gives it back here now towards Edward Potter. Potter striking it in. His shot blocked down as it comes to Steve McDonough. Mark Cronin does well against his more experienced opponent. And McDonough has overcarried the ball. It's run out of his possession and it's going to be a line ball for Kilmallock on the 45. And Mike Cullen says, Dave Clark, you better take this.
The momentum of the game seems to have tipped a bit as Kilmallock have come back and but very little scores and both sides are striving hard, but we haven't the same excitement or the same commitment that we had in the opening 20 minutes.
Just over 3 minutes to go to half-time here at the Gaelic Grounds in Limerick. Bruree in the driving seat by 4 points, but maybe in search of scores before half-time. They're playing with the strength of a strong breeze here at the Gaelic Grounds. Here they come from centre field with Edward Potter bringing it down. All in his own is Dave Clark. Now out comes the challenge from Mike Sexton. Dave Clark tosses it over the head of one of the Bruree attackers to Maurice Nelligan, and Maurice Nelligan taps it over the head of about 14 men as it comes to the 45 and played away by Stephen O'Halloran. Up goes Andrew O'Shea. Now it comes towards Mike Sexton. Mike Sexton has it looking for support and appeals by Donald Barry and Dave Clark that we didn't foul Mike Sexton, but Terence Murray, the man with the whistle, smack in front of the uprights. Another good opportunity for Seamus O'Connell to extend the advantage for Bruree to 5 points. 6 points to 2 as it stands at the moment. Smack in front of the uprights, about 40 yards out from the goal manned by Tom Hennessy. Here he comes, Seamus O'Connell, complete with green helmet, striking it straight and striking it smack between the uprights. A good score, and Seamus O'Connell really is a good free taker.
Definitely a good free taker and a good hurler. And the superiority, 7 points to 2, about reflects the supremacy that Bruree have enjoyed in the opening half. The momentum has dropped a bit in the last 4 or 5 minutes, but I think we're on for a tremendous second half.
2 minutes to go as Tom Buston retrieves the sliotar, Connolly sliotar, from just inside the advertising hoarding. Inside 2 minutes to the half-time whistle and the final whistle of the opening half. Tom Hennessy smacks it out the field down towards Donald McCarthy and Mike Cullen. Kilmallock kick it forward at Pat Barrett, intercepted by Peter Finn. Now back at centre half back, restored to the position he started the game. Look at this for a great solo run, Donald McCarthy, and he was fouled by Donald Barry, and Donald Barry says to Terence Murray, no way did I foul the wing back for Bruree. Midway between the 45 and the 65, Bruree have a free, maybe Seamus O'Connell, long way out. He scored one from outside this range early on, inside the opening 7 or 8 minutes of play, but will he score this one? And it could be his second point within 90 seconds of play. Bruree 7 points, Kilmallock 2 points at the Gaelic Grounds in Limerick, 5 points. And inside the last minute of the opening half, here comes Seamus O'Connell, striking, sending it in. It's looking good. It's gone over the bar. 8 points to 2. 2 goals between the teams, and Bruree are finishing the opening half in style. 50 seconds to go. And I think Bruree could be contemplating in bringing on a substitute at half-time. One of the substitutes is talking to Hugh Hogan. Maybe it'll come at half-time. It definitely won't come before half-time. Tom Hennessy pucks the ball out. Terence Murray looks at his watch. Seconds to go to half-time. Well, that's barring injury. There was a little bit of injury to John Potter as Edward Potter sends it in towards Mike Sexton, who seems to be held. And Mike Sexton and Sean Burchell are having a few rude words as the ball in the end goes to the right and wide. And Terence Murray says, lads, you'll have to settle things down. We're into injury time. The full-back now for Bruree. John Potter seems to be playing a right full forward. Mike Sexton now at full forward, and still at top of the left, Seamus O'Connell. There's been a lot of positional switches on both teams here in the county senior final. Tom Hennessy with the goal puck out. The goal puck out is coming. Murray looks at his watch down towards the opposite 65 with Mike Cullen. Donald McCarthy flicks it away. Mark Cronin might run onto it. With him is Andrew O'Shea, but Mark Cronin gets there first, the left half forward. Down towards Paul Dowling and Peter Finn. Dowling outside now to Pat Barrett. Barrett is 35 yards out from the goal. Played in now towards Liam Neenan. Neenan is on the 14 going forward. Outside now to Pat Barrett. A good chance of a goal. He's hooked from behind. Good play by Seamus Murphy. Pat Barrett is in there. A loose ball. It could be anybody's. And eventually cleared away by Stephen O'Halloran. Back now towards Maurice Nelligan. Hooked from behind by Stephen McDonough. Look at this for courage. Infinite courage shown by Bruree with McDonough the leader. Dave Clark comes forward, contemplating hitting it first time. He's lost out, but he's won the free. A little bit of a nudge in the back. The nudge there by Ed Potter, and a free by Dave Clark. outside about 50 yards from the goal, well within the capabilities of Paddy Kelly. And yes, Paddy Kelly is the man to take it deep into injury time in the opening half, just outside the 45. Smack in front of the uprights. It should be an ideal opportunity to claw Kilmallock to within 5 points and within great striking distance. He doesn't connect properly. Could turn out good. Paul Downing over and strike. Shot, goal! A goal by Patrick Tobin. A tonic of a goal and a dream time for the men from the Ballbeck, and Patrick Tobin has got it. A free that was only scooped in towards the 14. Dowling at to it, and the man that was there was the Garda, and he really checks that.
A great goal by Tobin, and I suppose it's just what Kilmallock needed because they were very much out of the game. But I think this Bruree team are not going to yield too easily.
Over 2 minutes into injury time, Andrew O'Shea, can he finish with Bruree's final score of the half? He can. 9 points to 1-2. That's 4 points between the team as Dave Clark urges on the Kilmallock team. It must now surely be half-time at the Gaelic grounds, and what a time to get a goal by Patrick Tobin. John Potter still at right full forward, urging on his men. Here comes Tom Hennessy. Hennessy with the goal puck out. The goal puck out now coming on its way. Murray looks at his watch, and there it is, the half-time whistle here at the Gaelic grounds. Bruree going leaders by 4 points. Bruree 9 points. Kilmallock 1 goal and 2 points as we return to studio in Limerick. Good afternoon, Vinny, and welcome back here to the Gaelic grounds. We're just over 5 minutes into the second half, and Kilmallock have got 2 quick points inside the opening 5 minutes of the second half. The first by Dave Clark and the second by Paddy Kelly, both coming from frees. We're at the Gaelic grounds just over 5 minutes into the game, but it's still Bruree leading in the second half. 9 points for Bruree. Kilmallock 1 goal and 4. 2 points between the teams. Kilmallock with the aid of a strong breeze in the second half, and also Pat Potter, who couldn't stop the game, has come on in place of his brother John Potter and is playing at full back. We follow play as the ball breaks outside towards Seamus Murphy, the wing back, and this is a mighty puck of a ball dropping down towards the full forward line, where it's grabbed by Mike Milan, I think, and it could be anybody's ball. Donald Barry misses it, and out comes Kilmallock. Here comes right full back Gerard Reardon. Reardon out to the 14, out towards the 21. Steve McDonough puts in his work, keeps it in play. Out comes Davy Clark, the pocket rocket. With him, Mike Sexton. Sexton gets it ahead of him. Pat Barrett now to Maurice Nelligan. Nelligan down the field, cut out by Donald McCarthy. McCarthy turns it down towards the 45. Mopped up here by Pat Barrett. Barrett goes outside. Somebody has lost a shoe. It's Patrick Tobin. Back towards the 45. He's everywhere is Seamus Murphy. Down towards Mike Sexton. Donald Barry. Mike Sexton didn't get it, but the man that does is Donald Barry, and goes away. Down towards the 20, dropping down, breaks outside Liam Meaden, and it's great play there by Pat Potter, denies him, out to the 14, but still in possession is the man we talk about, Liam Meaden, on the in-line, going forward, plays it inside towards Paul Dowling. Dowling turning, opting for a point, and he's got a point, and now there's just a point between the teams.
Very little between the teams. Kilmallock are definitely back in the driver's seat now with a strong wind behind them and just a point separating the sides. The stage is set for a great final, and at this stage Kilmallock seem to have got the upper hand of Bruree just momentarily anyway.
7 minutes into the second half of the game. Positional switches again. Andrew O'Shea has swapped wings with Ed Potter. We follow play. The slitter dropping down between Paul Dowling and Peter Finn. It breaks loose. Advantage to Donald McCarthy, the wing back. The man that sold programs last night to the Markets Field has overcarried possession, and he's not happy with the decision of Chance Murray, but Murray was correct, and Dave Clark is a free on the 65, and this could very well tie up matters. Bruree 9 points, Kilmallock 1 goal and 5. At half-time it was 9 points to 1-2 in favour of Bruree. Dave Clark with his free from the 65, hoisting it high, hoisting it to the right and wide, and Bruree still hold on by a point. Hugh Hogan stalking the sidelines beneath us, as John O'Brien is in no great hurry to take this, because he knows that Kilmallock are playing with a very strong breeze in the second half here at the Gaelic grounds. Limerick 95 in association with Bulgarin are bringing the game live. Down towards Mike Sexton on the half forward line, playing at centre half forward now with Dave Clark, goes forward. Behind him we have Patrick Tobin, loses his hurley, loses the sliotar, but Mike Houlihan has both. And down the far sideline, down towards the 45, Seamus Murphy's back covering with Paddy Kelly. Kelly against his younger opponent, 21-year-old Seamus Murphy, plays it outside. And up the field it goes from Stephen O'Halloran down towards Mike Houlihan, and Mo Houlihan does well with Donald McCarthy, looking for support, and Pat Barrett says, I'm waiting in the wings, driving it in. The sides are level at Port Laval. 9 points to 1 goal, and 6 points. They're level. Kilmallock won 6, Bruree 9 points, and Kilmallock now flowing with enthusiasm, flowing with spirit, and flowing with unrivaled determination. They're on top in the game. That's 9 minutes into the second half, and Donald McCarthy at the far sideline is receiving attention. He's told to settle down a little bit, come more into the game. Bruree needs scores. They haven't scored for a while. Right beneath is now comedy position. Up goes the love there of Pat Cullinan, but the love that was stronger was that of Pat Barrett. Outside, Paddy Kelly loses out. Up comes Ethan Frawley, the right full back of the team, down towards the 45. Dave Clark, the pocket rocket, turns to the left and strikes it about 50 yards down the field. A lot of overhead strikes, but something has happened, and one of the players is down injured. I think it's Dave Clark. Something off the ball. We didn't manage to see it. Neil Rowland is racing straight across the field. Mike Sexton is the culprit. His name is being taken. He's the first man to be booked in this county senior hurling final.
Very sporting contest, and I didn't spot that one, but Mike Sexton's name was taken for a tackle, and Dave Clark, who seems to be injured, whether he's a good actor, he's definitely a good hurler, but whether he's as good an actor remains to be seen, or whether he's in fact seriously injured. He appears to be injured anyhow, and getting attention there in the centre of the field.
Well, John Potter, Dave Clark is up, the St. John's ambulance men, and many more people around him. The crowd acknowledge that he's played a part in the game, and I think he'll continue. And Steve McDonough now, well, seems to be at centre half forward. My word, what switches we've had in the game, but it'll all come with this free for Paddy Kelly to put Kilmallock ahead for the first time in the game. 9 points for Bruree, Kilmallock 1-6, can we make it 1-7? Paddy Kelly dips and picks and strikes, and Kilmallock have forged ahead in the 11th minute of the second half. Neil Roden is a happier man now. Paddy Kelly, the scorer, with that brilliantly struck free all the way over the bar. Overcast now at the Gaelic grounds as John O'Brien strikes the ball out to a rather overcast Bruree team that have fallen out of the game for the moment at least. Out towards centre field, Mike Houlihan, Kilmallock are on the way towards the 45. Houlihan bats it down off the ground, goes forward, still going on the 21, intercepted here by Pat Potter. Out comes Pat Potter on a mighty clearance down towards centre field. Up goes the lob there of a Bruree man. The Bruree man was under a shade, breaks loose now towards Donald McCarthy. Paul Sexton outside now towards Seamus Murphy. Mark Cronin adds to it, but out come Bruree racing towards the 65. Team captain Peter Finn. Finn outside, picked up by Kilmallock's Maurice Nelligan. Nelligan to Mike Houlihan. Houlihan a Kittoak strike, and Kilmallock have sent it to the right and wide, but they still hold on to the advantage. Kilmallock 1 goal and 7 points. Bruree 9 points, 1 point between the teams, and we're 12 minutes old in the second half.
And Kilmallock are now playing better as a team. They're combining better and they're striking better. Perhaps the win advantage is very much the telling factor, but they're definitely on top at the moment.
Definitely on top, 12 minutes exactly into the second half. Tom Buston tells Terence Murray we're short the sliotar, and Neil Ronan, the man from Ballyheen, Cork, strikes the sliotar from almost the 45 down towards the 14. We have a sliotar, and Liam Neenan just taps it nicely to John O'Brien, but I don't think he'll tap them as nicely when play resumes. Here comes John O'Brien with the goal puck out, the Kittoak goal puck out, dropping towards the 65, manoeuvring its way. Pat Barrett trying to flick it outside, does so. Trying to pick it up now is a different problem. Patrick Tobin is no problem. He has now, because Paul Sexton has beaten him as it comes towards Pat Cullinan, a very young Bruree team. A lot of the players only 19, maybe 20, up to 23 years of age. Stephen McDonough battling it out with Dave Clark, and Dave Clark had put in the hurley too early on Stephen McDonough, and there's a free for Bruree with Seamus O'Connell a long way out, considering the fact you're striking into the breeze, 64 yards out from the goal. A difficult one for Seamus O'Connell. 13 minutes gone. Kilmallock leading by a point in this second half. Seamus O'Connell from the far side of the field. Maybe it will drop short. If it does, Bruree will need to be alert. Seamus O'Connell all the way. They're level at the Gaelic grounds. Could that be the momentum, the great strike Bruree back into the game they've fallen out of, Sean.
I think so. Bruree are not going to die easily here. It's a great game and very well contested. Both sides a great sporting contest. We're looking forward to a final great 20 minutes.
A final great 20 minutes. We're inside that now by about 3 minutes. Out towards the 45 and the 65. Out comes Maurice Nelligan, right beneath our comedy position. We look down on him, shrugs off the challenger Mike Sexton and drives a good ball in. Mike Hoolan is down injured. We follow play. Paul Dowling. Along beside him, Aidan Frawley, as it comes out to Paul Dowling, striking it in. Umpires are watching, comes off the upright, gone over the bar. A lucky one, a lucky omen. Kilmallock are back ahead. Meanwhile, Pat Barrett is down injured, midway between the 45 and the 65, and Terence Murray has stopped play momentarily. There's been a few injuries in the game, Sean.
A few injuries, but it's not a dirty game by any means, but it's a tough, hard game for a real championship fervour, and certainly players are getting injured. I think we're going to have very much a ding-dong struggle here. There's very little between the sides. We had Bruree coming back from that point, a great one by Seamus O'Connell, but Paul Dowling, who is certainly proving his worth at full forward, that was a great effort there by him, and Kilmallock are certainly back in the driver's seat.
Inside of the puck out, down towards the 65 and down into the position here of Bruree, Stephen O'Halloran going forward. Mike Hoolan, look at that for marvellous play. Spreads it to the far side of the field with Seamus Murphy and Mark Cronin. Seamus Murphy is equal to the challenge put in by Mark Cronin. Terence Murray almost got in his way. Up towards the 45, Seamus O'Connell late coming to the ball as out comes Gerard Reardon. Along the ground, Kittoak strike. Along the ground hurling again implied by Pat Barrett. No ground hurling for Patrick Tobin. Pumps it up to the 14. Out comes goalkeeper John O'Brien. In goes Paul Dowling. And O'Brien had to be quick to clear the ball out, but it only comes to Kilmallock's. Paddy Kelly. Here comes Kelly, 40 yards out from the goal. Hooked from behind by Donald McCarthy. Paddy Kelly outside. Pat Barrett. This is how it's done, Pat. Pat strikes it in. He says that's not how it's done because it goes well to the right and wide. The score, Kilmallock 1 goal and 8 points. Bruree 10 points. Kilmallock holding on to 1 point advantage as Kilmallock play with the breeze. 15 and a half minutes into the second half. Terence Murray tells John O'Brien to take the goal puck out. Down towards Mike Sexton. Can Bruree come back into the game? Mike Sexton has it. Goes forward. Up towards Seamus O'Connell, who's good at the freeze. Can he do it from play? Out by Dave Clark. The right boot of Dave Clark. Turned in by Andrew O'Shea. In towards full-back territory. Gerard Reardon, the man that's there. They keep it in. This looks like McDonough. It is McDonough. Straight across the field. And up goes Shane O'Grady. The ball breaking loose. Pat Kilmallock shot. Saved by Hennessy on the goal mouth. A great save. And the crowd say, Tom Hennessy, you're a good goalkeeper, because that was a top-class save midway through the second half as Pat Cullinan caught onto the ball, struck in by Stephen McDonough. It truly was an outstanding save.
An outstanding save by Tom Hennessy, and it's only his second of this afternoon. He has had a fantastic save in the first half as well, but that was really out of the top draw. A magnificent save.
Can he stop this one? The ball breaking loose, a shot, saved again by Tom Hennessy. Oh dear, he's earning his keep. Is the man from Kilmallock as it comes to Dave Clark. That shot blocked down by Seamus O'Connell. Down towards midfield. Up go Kilmallock again. Patrick Tobin. 2 let-offs for Kilmallock. It could have been 2 goals, but Tom Hennessy stood brave in the goal mouth. Aidan Frawley scooping it up, going forward. He's behind the slitter. Pat Barrett falls to the ground. Outside, it's a bit like a billiard game. Maurice Nelligan, Pat Barrett. The ground is a bit soft in that area. Peter Finn is down, his bottom is down, and the slitter is going to be a throw-in, I would say, according to Terence Murray. So it's going to be a throw-in just inside the 65, and the game really livening up. And don't forget tonight, be at Bulgadin, because it's seemingly the place to be in South Limerick tonight. Both Kilmallock and Bruree will be there. 18 minutes into the second half, 12 minutes to go. Patrick Tobin plays in towards Paul Dowling, wins it back. Good 1-2. Peter Finn intercept. Paul Dowling out now to Mike Houlihan. Houlihan in towards John O'Brien. O'Brien lets it fall from his possession. Liam Needham is there. And up comes O'Brien on the 14. And O'Brien does well in the second attempt as a teenager. The son of the great Jim O'Brien. Out towards Seamus Murphy. Seamus Murphy in difficulty now with Paddy Kelly. But Seamus Murphy has it. No support coming. Mark Cronin is there. Seamus Murphy falls to the ground. Support maybe. Oh, poor ball as it comes to Paddy Kelly. Meant for Stephen O'Halloran. Inside. Here comes Pat Potter. Ball juggling in the part of Pat Potter. Outside towards Paul Dowling. Dowling going forward. Shortens his. Come on, and strikes it over the bar. Kilmallock have gone ahead by 2 points in the game. And Brendan Hanley is coming on to the Kilmallock team with 12 minutes precisely left in the game. Brendan Hanley is coming on, Neil Ronan is with him. Who are we calling ashore? Mark Cronin is on for Brendan Hanley. Kilmallock 2 points ahead.
And Kilmallock certainly on a roll, but how lucky Bruree were. 2 fantastic saves of Tom Hennessy when it could have been 2 goals, but they're not beaten yet. This could definitely go down to the wire.
It could very well go down to the wire here at the Gaelic grounds in Limerick, and Limerick 95 will bring it to you all the way to the wire. Mike Sexton goes up but forgets about the slitter. Maurice Nelligan doesn't. Down towards the 21. Out come 2 players. One is this man, Aidan Frawley. Aidan Frawley has it for Bruree, the right full-back, outside towards Seamus Murphy. Defensively, Kilmallock or Bruree are doing well, but the forwards may be lacking some little bit of appetite, it must be said. They may have the ball but can't turn it into scoring chances. This could be one of those scoring chances. Up the field it goes, up towards Ed Potter, but the man that has it, Donald Barry, and Donald Barry has won a free. And if the Bruree team, I think they need to get a bit sharper in their striking.
Yeah, the forwards are definitely there. They're not playing with the same flair and the same expertise as they did in the first half with their after striking, and they're certainly playing second fiddle to Kilmallock at the moment. But I wouldn't write them off, Matt. I think this is still anybody's game.
Anybody's game, 10 minutes to go. The score, Kilmallock 1-9, Bruree 10 points, added up in the head 2 points. Favourites, Kilmallock are leading. The ball definitely breaks loose from Paul Downing out towards Seamus Murphy, who really is sparkling at left half back of this Bruree team. He's been everywhere. He's a real tigerish wing back, a bit like Ger Walsh of Galtee Gaels in Gaelic football. Here comes Peter Finn, the captain. Intelligent ball played outside as Bruree launch another attack, this time with Pat Cullinan. Up towards Seamus O'Connell, Dave Clark. Out comes Ed Potter. Ed Potter, 45 yards from the goal. A point would be good at this stage. Mike Sexton, can he supply it going forward? Runs into a hefty challenge, and that's a free. And this could narrow it down to a point. Mike Sexton is down. Donald Barry says, I didn't mean to hit you. Well, at least I didn't mean to hit you that hard. Here comes the free from Seamus O'Connell, and Mike Houlihan is in there as well. Pat Barrett, a few players around them. 3 men, or 5 men in fact, on the Kilmallock goal, because they're not going to give away a goal. Do Bruree know there's 10 minutes left in the game? You could win many a game, and Limerick of all counties should know that. Remember Croke Park on September the 4th. Here comes Seamus O'Connell. With the free, Ben strikes, it's gone over the bar, and Bruree have narrowed it down to a solitary point. Who's to rule out a draw in the county senior hurling final? Could we be back at the Gaelic grounds this day week for another replay? The 2 semi-finals remarkably were replays. Could the county final be a replay? 9 minutes plus injury time. We've had injury time in the second half. Tom Hennessy with the goal puck out from the town end, landing way inside the 65, a floating ball. Donald Barry adds to it down towards the 20. Out come Bruree. Good play inside now towards Paul Sexton, just inside the sideline. Maurice Nelligan lets it go, picks it up, scoops it down, clears it down the field, down towards the 45. It's into the fence, have against. It's Seamus Murphy for Bruree, going forward on the 65, lobbing a ball in towards Ed Potter. Ed Potter has it, 30 yards from the goal with Shane O'Grady. Difficult angle to get through. Here's Ed Potter going towards the goal. Low shot, the sides are level. A good score by Ed Potter. What a game. Bruree are on the field of play. 8.5 minutes left in the game at the Gaelic grounds. A titanic battle. The Titanic was back in the early 1900s. This is in the latter part of that century. This is a great game, Sean.
A great game, and as I said, Mel, this is going to go down to the wire, and don't be at all surprised if it ends in a draw.
8 minutes to go. Tom Hennessy inspiring Kilmallock with this puck out. The puck out down towards the 45. The sides are level. 12 points to 1 goal and 9. The 1 goal and 9 belongs to Kilmallock. Here comes Patrick Tobin, Pat Potter in towards the goal. The umpire says it's left and wide. Left and wide. The sides deadlocked with minutes ticking away. 8 minutes to go at the Gaelic grounds here in Limerick. The breeze still as strong as ever, favouring Kilmallock in the second half. Slitter is in its flight, down towards Mike Sexton. Mike Sexton puts up his hand, Donald Barry puts in his come on. Race on here towards the sideline. The Slitter has won the race from Paul Downing and Pat Potter. It's going to be a line ball for Kilmallock, about 30 yards out from the end line. Or is it going to be a throw-in? In fact, it's going to be a Bruree line ball, says Tom. Tom Bennis, we speak about TB Motors. Paul Dowling is standing in front of the sideline cut. Here comes the sideline cut, not taken superbly well by Stephen O'Halloran, and Dowling waited his time because he has the ball on the 14-yard line now. Good defensive play. Pat Potter possibly should have started the game. He's having a good second half. into open space. Pat Cullinan for Bruree. 40, 60 yards now from his own defensive goal. Played up towards Seamus O'Connell. With him is Gerald Reardon. The ball has gone out and Tom Burke is waving his flag furiously. It's a line ball for Bruree. Kilmallock hang on their nerves. So to Bruree. Here comes Pat Cullinan. Shot half blocked down by Maurice Nelligan. Cleared away by the Kilmallock defence. Down towards Pat Barrett. Barrett had it ahead now of Paul Sexton. 50 yards from the goal. Going forward outside to Paddy. All in his own. His son and Kelly. The answer is a point and Kilmallock have forged ahead by a solitary point. Paddy Kelly. Simplicity in motion. Superbly struck from an acute angle. But Kelly has supplied them in the past on so many occasions.
Definitely, and he has lost none of the skill that made him one of the outstanding forwards over nearly a 20-year period. A great point by Paddy Kelly.
A great point by Paddy Kelly. The sliotar breaking loose down towards midfield and Mike Sexton plays it forward, cut out by Pat Barrett. Pat Barrett now to Donald Barry. Donald Barry 65 yards from his own goal, going forward to the opposite 65. With him Stephen McDonough. Good stick work by Paul Dowling, the son of the great Mossy. Mossy was on the 73 team. Dowling is on the 94 team, on the 92 minor team. Up towards the 21. Bruree coming into attack. Hand passed inside. All in his own, but back coming is Tom Hennessy. And great play by Gerald Reardon as Ed Potter was sinting his way through. At half cleared out by James Connery. A good clearance in the end because it comes to Donald Barry. Up towards Pat Barrett. Pat Barrett has ahead Paul Sexton. Paul Sexton now left behind. Pat Barrett back to Mike Houlihan. Houlihan driving it in, driving it to the right and wide. And the score, Kilmallock 110, Bruree 12 points with just 5 minutes and 15 seconds left in the county senior hurling final. It's anybody's game here at the Gaelic grounds. Who's to rule out Kilmallock? Who's to rule out Bruree? As Kilmallock about to introduce Sean Barrett to the fray. Here's substitute Brendan Harley. Good ball inside towards Paul Dowling. Pat Potter is outstanding and he's won the free from Paul Dowling. Now replacement Sean Barrett on the Kilmallock team in the 26th minute of the game. Tom Bennett's flags turns Murray. He'll have to wait because play continues. It could be a lucky omen. Bruree coming into attack, cut out by Shane O'Grady. This is Shane O'Grady, the far sideline. Good play by Shane O'Grady. He's lost out. And Dave Clark, the man back, mopping up play. And there's something happening at the far sideline. One of the players involved is Shane O'Grady. And perhaps the other player, I can't see, it's Edward Potter. There seems to be some fisticuffs down there, but we'll follow the play. Both men are down at the deck. We follow play because it's gone over the bar. A good score by Paddy Kelly. And Kilmallock are forging ever so closer to victory with 4 minutes left in the game. Sean Barrett is coming on the field to play. Ed Potter and Shane O'Grady locked together and separated by the linesman Tom Burke. Will all happen again, but 2 men are going to be booked. Their names from Bruree, Ed Potter, and from Kilmallock, Shane O'Grady.
Yes, a rather unfortunate incident there, but I think the ref should have probably spotted he is having a great game, but he left that one go, and that has gone on for about a minute now, and in the process there, Paddy Kelly got a great point.
So on the field of play, we can tell you Sean Barrett, the man that he has replaced, I think is Patrick Tobin. So yes, just looking beneath me, just looking out over the Mackey stand, there's no point in falling down to find out who it is, but it is Patrick Tobin. We're a fair height up here in the Mackey stand. The ball dropping down. Can Bruree come back into the game? 12 points to 111. They're 2 points down, and it's Kilmallock coming into attack. Out comes the left full back, Stephen O'Halloran. It's looking increasingly like that Kilmallock will win the game. Sean Barrett lets it go. Bruree picking it up. Well, Peter Fenn was, and he was pushed in the back, and he's got it free. The time, 27 minutes gone. Left 3 minutes plus injury time. Poor ball comes to Donald Barry of Kilmallock. Here comes Kilmallock driving forward, down towards the 20, down towards the 14. Liam Neenan is racing out. Behind him, Stephen O'Halloran lagging behind by 6 yards. Liam Neenan turns his marker, goes towards goal. This could seal it. 14 yards out, still going, striking it. It's gone over the bar. A goal between Kilmallock and Bruree, and the men of the Balvic are the men that lead with 2.5 minutes precisely left in the game. John O'Brien, did he ever take a puck out so quick? It comes now to Sean Barrett, who turned in, and it's back towards John O'Brien, who lets the ball bounce about 3 yards in from the end line and bounce over the end line and wide. The score, a goal for 12 points, a goal and 12 for Kilmallock. Bruree 12 points. It's almost over. 28 minutes gone in the second half. 2 minutes left. There's still time. Could it be a miracle? Could the dream really come true? Peter Finn, a free at midfield for Bruree inside the final 2 minutes of a tremendous county final. Bruree outsiders into the game. They're 7-2 with many bookmakers in South Limerick, many bookmakers in North Cork. Peter Finn driving it in. It's going to drop short around the small parallelogram, breaking loose. It could be anybody's ball. It comes out of a Kilmallock defender in Shane O'Grady. A 65 for Bruree. A minute and a half left in the game, Sean. It's really dramatic.
Fantastic county final, Mel. One of the better ones I've seen in recent years, and fair play to Bruree. They come into this game complete underdogs, but they have more than matched their opponents, and even as yet, with 1.5 minutes to go, I think they're still not out of the game.
Well, it's 1 minute and 26 now as we speak. Here comes the free. It's a 65. Peter Finn dropping it short. There's so many commands, it'll be difficult to see this one. A goal! It could be a draw, could it be a winner? Here come Kilmallock. This is the man, Liam Neenan, pulling it right and wide. Oh dear, 45 seconds left. Can we get a winning score, or will it be a draw? A draw in a county final of a great game. Maybe a draw could be a fair result. Terence Murray, he's been asked by so many people how much is left. I can tell you, 31 seconds and counting, plus injury time. The puck out. Come on, John O'Brien. A lot of the supporters are waiting. That's what the supporters are saying. The crowd ready to invade the field. Will the Daily Cop still rest with J.G. Kennelly, or will it go to Bruree or Kilmallock? It's over. It's all over. A draw in the county senior hurling final. And I think referee Terence Murray blew up on the dot of full time in a tremendous battle between near neighbours Kilmallock and Bruree. They'll have to do it all again. The venue, the Gaelic grounds, the date next Sunday, the time 3:30. We'll be here. The full-time score, 1 goal and 12 points apiece. Sean, a mighty, mighty hurling match.
A mighty hurling game, Mel, but I don't think we'll be here next Sunday at 3:30 for this game, because Limerick are built to play Tipperary in the second round of the Church and General National Hurling League, so perhaps Saturday or maybe this day fortnight. But having said that, it was a tremendous game, and I told you that Bruree weren't going to go out, and even midway through that I was hoping, saying that it would be a draw, and I think a draw was a fair result. A great game, one of the better county finals, and fair play to both teams, a very sporting contest, and a great display of hurling.
To Kilmallock and Bruree, we say a sincere thank you, because this was a tremendous game brought on Limerick 95 in association with Bulgate and Castle and Kilmallock. A lot of people will be there tonight. We might even be there ourselves. The full-time score at Portnagoyle in the 1994 Limerick Senior Hurling Final, a draw. Kilmallock 1 goal, 12 points. Bruree 1 goal and 12 points. From Sean Murphy and myself, Mal Keaveney, and our entire outside broadcast unit at the Gaelic grounds in Limerick, we return to studio.